Okay, welcome to the latest edition of Is It? With me, Sean Peters, and him, Dan Vincent. And today we are looking at a familiar-looking plugin. We've looked at something similar to this before, haven't we?
We have.
However, this is also a familiar company. I can see now on your little card. They're good, these cards. Why don't you take us through what we're looking at?
Today we are looking at the Noiseash Prestige Racks, which is new from Noiseash. Noiseash, if you know, have made the Need stuff, so the preamps and the Neve modelled EQs and channel strips. Really nice sounding stuff, really good value. We're big fans. Anyway, we should say that Noiseash sent us this to check out. But again, like with all our stuff, we have complete control over what we say. So with that said, let's have a look at it. As you can see, this is a bit like what you would call like a 500 series rack looking plugin. In fact, it looks quite a lot like PSP's InfiniStrip.
Yeah.
Very similar to the InfiniStrip, same sort of idea, but also Slate Digital have been doing this for years. Lots of people do this. It's a channel strip that you build yourself out of the little components. This one has, starting from the left, you can put it in any order you want. So it's got a compressor, it's got a saturator, it's got an EQ, it's got a de-esser, it's got a delay,
right?
It's got a reverb.
Okay.
The master section has a gate, which is at the input end, and an opto compressor on the output end, and a master fader and an analog switch, which basically gives you the harmonics.
Blimey.
Yeah. Slightly different to the InfiniStrip by PSP in that there aren't other options. There's one EQ, there's one compressor, there's one of everything here. You can turn them on or off, and you can move their order about, but you can't flip them for a different EQ or a different compressor. This is it.
Are they models or are they?
I presume they're all modelled on something. They all, you can tell by the look of them that they're all a bit familiar. The compressor's got a very SSL look about it. The reverb has a very lexicon look about it. Do you know what I mean? They all look a bit familiar.
Okay, I can see that.
So I guess that's what they've done.
Yeah, now you've said that.
So there's 6 processors.
And what would you, so you'd have this, you'd have this on your channel? It's a channel strip, essentially.
Yes, so you would insert this on your channel, or you could insert it on a bus, or even your master bus, wherever you want. But because it's got delay and reverb, I would expect this would be probably better on a channel. And obviously you can save all your favourite settings, or use one of the many presets that come with it. It's nice to be able to reorder it. That's kind of vital, really. You know, engineers will argue for years about whether compression or EQ goes first. I'm an SSL guy, so it's always EQ first for me. But you can do it whatever way you want to do it. It sounds epic. It's really easy to use. The compressor's great. The saturator's great. Subtle. It's not over the top. The EQ's lovely. The de-esser is one of the few de-essers that I've used, apart from the Waves one, that actually appears to work. I love the delay. It's got like that thing where you can duck the delays, so you get this really cool thing. PSP again did a similar thing on the PSP 84.
What, so it drops off the end of vocal lines, for example? No,
it just allows you to create like a rhythmic thing,
right,
where it sort of comes and goes. You can get some really good effects with that delay. And the reverb, you got like a room setting and like a hall setting. So it's 2, short reverbs, long reverbs.
It's a massive commitment, isn't it? You're committing to everything from EQ right all the way through to your effects. It
is, but you could say, right, I'm going to use this on a kick drum channel. I'm going to get rid of the de-esser, going to get rid of the delay, going to get rid of the reverb, just going to use the compressor, saturator and EQ. Do the same for all your drum channels. Then send it to a drum bus where you could use this again, maybe with just the saturator and the...
I get that.
You could insert this as your master reverb and just have the reverb.
Rather than using individual plugins, you're committing to,
You are committing to using one. But I think there's a reason why that would work in this case.
Okay.
And one of those reasons is that it's very good.
Okay.
I don't think you're compromising on quality here. The other reason is the price.
Okay.
Now,
so before we have to do demo before price.
We do have to do demo before we do price. Yes, it's Noiseash. They do demos. So
wicked.
That's all good.
You haven't written it on your card again?
I haven't written it on my card.
No. But it's on the screen, isn't it?
It's on the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's say you're going to buy these plugins individually. You need a half decent reverb, half decent delay. You could argue you can use the ones that come with your DAW. But But things like EQ, saturator, and compressor, if you want them of this quality, you're going to have to get third-party plugins. So you're going to be spending a little bit of money to get these tools together, or you buy this, and normal price is $150.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. But right now it's $59.90.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. So that's very hard to not love it.
And okay, so I've got another question.
Yeah.
You have this open on all of your input channels.
Yes.
You have a different delay and reverb setting on all of your input channels.
You would have to be very careful with that. I wouldn't do that.
No.
I would absolutely not have the delay or the reverb on all the tracks. I would insert one of these on an aux.
Yes, and then use it on there.
And then use it on that. You know, maybe for spot effects, maybe on the lead vocal, it can have its own reverb on it. Maybe there might be reasons to do that. But yeah, I think you can make it work in all those different situations.
Very cool.
There are slight disadvantages with working like this.
Yes.
One of them is that if you insert this on a channel, the sort of the stereo output, the fader bit on the right, it's possible to overload a channel
Right.
before your DAW overloads. So you could push too much into this.
Right.
You could make this
Overload.
squash too much and overload. Yeah. So you have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
So it's another thing to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And also, it would be very tempting maybe to stick with it all the time and to always have exactly the same sound.
Yeah.
Which kind of, you know, that's not always a bad thing.
Well, maybe that's what they're kind of going for. It clearly is that kind of one-stop shop. Open it up. You know, I mean, the only other thing is it looks quite complex. But I guess because it does so much, there's quite a lot going on the interface, isn't there?
There is, but I think individually they're easy to use. It's scalable, so you can make this huge on your screen. It's pretty obvious what's doing what. I think they're well designed interfaces.
Okay.
I think it looks great.
So, Mr. V, the Noiseash Prestige Rex.
Yeah.
Is it shit?
No, it's a beautiful product. It makes sense for Noiseash to do this now. I think this is really cool. You know, and where it stands next to PSP's Infinity Strip, that's tricky. I think they're similar price. That's a little bit more money.
There's an obvious competition sort of here, isn't there?
A little bit. They're doing similar sort of stuff. I would say PSP have a slightly different sound overall. Their Infinity Strip is more flexible. You have multiple compressors and EQs and all the rest of it. So it is a bit more flexible. But I think if you had both, I mean, you'd be well covered. If you don't want to keep buying new plugins all the time, this kind of thing's great because it's got everything.
Very cool. Very cool.
While we're here, we do need to talk about they're also releasing their Motone, the Motown EQ, and their Bax EQ, which they sent us, I think it was like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
And we did actually shoot reviews of both of those products, but they asked us to not put them out until they were ready to release, which is so long ago. Me and you look about 12. And I thought it's so weird. So I'm just going to mention them here now.
Are you going to put those reviews out that we shot?
No.
Oh. that old.
They're really old. Yeah, it'd be like a step back in time.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just round them up here. They're both. It's Noiseash. They're really good.
Yeah.
The Motone EQ does exactly what you would expect of the Motown EQ. Very simple to use, and it's something about the saturation algorithms, the modelling they do at Noiseash. That stuff sounds epic, and the Bax EQ's similar, very nice sounding mastering EQ. The pro versions of both of those are probably worth the extra. Great products too. So go and check out Noiseash. It's just a whole bunch of great stuff at very, very good prices.
Cool. But before you do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Definitely do that. And also we have an Instagram, which is Studio Life 101. We also have a Patreon. And we have a merch stand and a whole bunch of other stuff, and the links are all down there.
Until next time.
Adios.